Everybody, thank you so much for your patience. We got our first series underway. We're talking about win condition, Cozy, and it starts off in the pick and ban phase.
Yes, it does. Grand finals right here, y'all. Group A, the group of death. It's FlyQuest Envy, two of the best in North America. We're going to find out right now who is the best between these two teams, thinking they are the best. We start with two Jeffs right off the rip.
That's a statement. I love it. We've been seeing it happen way more often, and I'm not surprised. We're going on to Celestial Husk, and you know, with that low to high ground verticality, a lot of space to navigate around, that the Jeff could be detrimental at making those biggest plays. But the protection on the Adam Warlock was something that we literally just highlighted here from FlyQuest.
Yeah, no, that's a great call out there. They've wanted that Adam Warlock in the past when they played against one another. They did not have access to this on Domination last time. Hey, guess what? Last time these two teams played, Envy won 2-0 on Celestial Husk, but Adam was not available for FlyQuest that time around. So already changing up the pace a bit. That's what makes this exciting. These teams did the homework.
Now glowing on to the next ban, though, it's going to be the Mantis off the table. I'm expecting the next ban from FlyQuest probably going to be the Mantis. It really depends on what this safety pick from Envy is looking like here while they hover over it. It's going to be the Ultron, another important strategist that has kind of been the mainstay even in the last two series that we had yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference in terms of always looking back into when they played last time. Once again, Jeff and Invis were the saves last time on Domination. Ultron was banned for them in terms of Envy. And now we have FlyQuest, you know, doing the, what I like to call just the speedery ban that's, you know, obligated. You have to get rid of that man's best heroes. So going into that, we expected that. Vicky, for this next pick, you know, obviously I do think Mantis is going to be involved here in the terms of FlyQuest. For Envy, maybe they go back. Okay. All right. There's the tip of the cap.
Wait, it's the double Star-Lord, though. The double respect. Again, another ban we're seeing come out way more often to get more of these target bans. Because you talk about the Star-Lord, right? Cal has popped off on Star-Lord before from Envy. Looking on the other side, we just talked about it from Energy being on FlyQuest. As the Mantis Protect comes out, now you're going to have a damage-boosted Ultron.
Not only that, they get rid of Star-Lord, who, if you just watch in the competitive scene casually, Star-Lord's such a great answer to that fly unit in Ultron. And so, a lot tougher time here. I mean, Speeder could just play Storm at this point, have an Ultron there with the damage boost. You are screaming a bad time. Captain America, very interesting ban here in terms... I mean, you could shut down survivability there. You know, obviously we know Window loves Venom. But in terms of just stalling, you know, Captain America can do his thing here. Very interesting. Like the pick, mixing things up, and there's the token Invis save, Vicky, that we've seen so many times.
By the way, Emma Frost goes by. Emma Frost comes out here for the first map of Domination, unless we see that ban on the other side. No, it's going to be the Ultron instead. So you talk about Captain America being banned. The stalling potential that we've seen from Kalush is there. Sure, you could ban out Captain America, but obviously now Kalush, mother knows best. So we get to see the White Queen herself make her debut now in our first game together in our grand finals for Group Stage A.
Yeah, a lot of things to point out here and looking what they kind of went with game plan wise. Yeah, I mean, Emma's available. Adam is for in terms of Envy there, so they can go that route if they so choose. But it's going to be Vision on the Adam. He does like to rotate to that if Jeff is not available. I have a feeling after the last time these two teams went together, after what we've seen, Vicky, Jeff is just... The baby land shark is not going to get any air and stay underwater here for the grand finals just because of the difference he can do.
Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Nope, none of that. We shut down John Williams. We shut down the orchestra alongside the Jeff. Not going to be playable here, as again, we start things off on Celestial Husk, which is interesting too, right? I feel like we kind of had a good amount of mix-ups here where our first games have been going to for our domination maps.
Yeah, speaking of John Williams, it's a duel of fates right now. Celestial Husk is the map. These two teams locked in, ready to go. We will see what strategy comes out on top. Look for Speedery up in the air, trying to focus down Vision on that Adam. It's going to be the hit scan versus the GOAT of flying heroes in Speedery now. But looking towards it, he's the Ultron. We've seen him flex to that. Kalush, of course, on Mother. Window going to Strange. I like that as a bit of a swap here, as this can be Envy going right to the point before it opens up.
Spark Chief now also on the captain, something we already know that Envy would not be able to utilize. Cal, Month with that Mantis and that damage boost, while Nero usually seeing him on that Cloak and Dagger. So much impact here, but on the Invisible Woman instead, as Spark takes a quick little nap, trying to disrupt the backline here of Envy, but they have heal support as Speedery is also right there alongside them.
Yeah, it's a good start out for the teams. I expect this point to take an eternity to get, especially on this map, but these teams are always so locked in here. Cal trying to get some early pressure there on Energy. That's that fight that I wanted to call out, and that's the one we're going to see first with the elimination of Cal being the one on top there against Energy and showing why he is who he is for Team Envy now. Trying to get more there, going for Spark Chief, and the ults are rising. We're getting close here. Closest one to it. Speeder is going to have it, and he's going to pop it right away. Expect for that extermination going right now.
FlyQuest is about to figure out why they want to try to prioritize the Mantis maybe over the Land Shark first, right? Now you see the invisible boundary as the attack boost is coming out, and Cooper is going to start the engagement with the Luna Snow Fate of both worlds here, allowing FlyQuest to move up, but with Vez going out, Monk catching his name, Cal follows up, and Vez has gone down with the Cyanide Seduction too, as FlyQuest lose out on another fight.
Yeah, looking very comfortable with who they're going up against here. Envy looks like they have the lineup that they want. Absolutely. If they could draft anything, they're pretty happy with having the old Mantis Speedery combo that they've got rocking and rolling here of the triple strategist. Now on the other side, we see Energy now swapping over to the Winter Soldier. We'll have to see if this is the one from the second movie or the third, because it's a big difference in terms of how he does. Now, Vest has the seduction. They can try to line that up with Vision's res. This is where the win con is. They need to hop on this.
I was not expecting that. Getting kidnapped by the Bucky grapple forces out a reset with the Phoenix ultimate. And now with the Freedom Charge, the Cyanide Seduction. Beautiful pull in here. Windows is trying to get away. Luckily, he's the Doctor Strange with the shield available. He's got the Eye of Agamotto as FlyQuest are just trying to brute force their way into this choke.
Yeah, Speeder now back rotating to another extermination. Vision, though, with the nice elim there on Cal. That's going to open things up. Again, that res can happen anytime, so Energy can go ahead and use Kraken when he wants to. Go aggressive, but Kaluge, all eyes on me, he says. Oh, the push-off away. That's what you see at high-level plays. Zealous going to be pushing out that Doctor Strange window. Get out the window there as Vision gets a res off. Energy Vest back up, but it's Envy tick-tick, looking like the 2-0 that they had last time on Celestial Husk.
And looking at the ultimate economy, too, right? Nero's got that survivability coming up if he stays alive with the invisible boundary, so they got to back away here as Envy call it in terms of repositioning. But Cal getting that first pick here onto Vez. The invisible boundary just a second late, doesn't save out a window, gets the Grand Slam as Vision then goes in and finds Speedery. No elimination as Speedery's been able to boost up that Ultron ultimate just as quick.
Yeah, that's what you expect to see there. The Envy can give away the point if they so choose. 99, they've got what they want out of it. Zelos, good job keeping that ult, not using everything that they needed to, but battle's still convincing. Windows coming right back in with that portal. Energy down. Envy looking like they want that revenge. They're angry they lost. They're here for it, but Vision and Cooper, it's the strategist and the Vision, the key player, getting that pick. Cooper doing his job, Vicky, as this thing's close.
They did a really good job at stalling, though. That was the whole point. Even when they were repositioning, even when we saw Vision get some of those picks, they stalled out long enough to get to 99% as Cal gets Vision next. That's a big pick, but he's got the passive, though, to come right back. He's got that Adam Warlock Karmic Revival coming in shortly, and now Envy with Window swapping over to the Venom. It's another stall opportunity to try to disrupt that back line.
Now Cal just turning Ashes into highlights as he has been there with Jean Grey. Now Window over to the Venom. The symbiote looking for more now, getting grabbed in and kind of out of control. Window can't even play the game. The CC is there and all eyes on Vest now. Seduction's up. We'll see if we get a combo there with it. They're just looking for some contention. Great job now as Kaluge doing the same. And Vicky, right now, these two teams sustain Vest. This could be a 99-99 once again as Energy's looking for more.
Zelos with the pull-in, by the way. Clutch Master. Energy to follow up, and now we have the Ultimate Economy lined up to rotate through, and Nero's already used up that invisible boundary. Now you slam down here. Now the reset comes out from Cal to shut down Energy, but the Born again rings out here in the arena as FlyQuest, having Vision still alive, gets a recontest as FlyQuest still have control over the point.
Yo, the screen is exploding right now in colors. I mean, just everything being used here. Insanity. And I knew this is what we would see here as Feast the Abyss comes out. Nothing from it here. Zelos keeping the team alive. Wow. And if you look at rotation there, oh my gosh, yeah, Zelos with that pick on Speeder. Cooper to window. Hello, FlyQuest. Again, trying for the main quest. It's all the strategists right now.
The strategists are all juked up right now. They got the gloves on. They're tired of it. Speeder had gone down while trying to utilize that extermination at the very end there. So Zelos, great awareness on shutting him down. And now FlyQuest already nearing 99%.
Wow, what a turn of the script. That's why that Captain America pick's going to come in clutch here, Vicky. They're able to sustain there with Spark Chief looking at the ult charge. You have Kaluge coming up close with Monk, but Vest is going to be able to get the seduction up. Spark Chief shortly behind and Cooper to follow. Every team's going to have what they want. Neutral battle right now commences. Window looks for more. Going to look to die, potentially that back line. He's hungry. He's thirsty. He goes in. He gets the good distraction here as these teams have to rotate.
And a look at me as he tries to tease them, tries to focus on them here. But with Vez having some Psionic Seduction, Window doesn't have the reset opportunity that the Feast of the Abyss does provide. But with some help here, you got the fate of both worlds to keep the back line sustained. With Cal going down without being able to reset, even crazier from Vez as that damage output from the Emma Frost is proving nice.
Vez has done it on Magneto, doing it there on Emma Frost. Energy now going in. He's got the Kraken impact. He's going to use it now. Slam out, slam down. Does get the reset there on Month. He's going to go one more. There goes 2. He's going to try to get there with Kalush, though. Gets Cooper out of there as I sound like an auctioneer now. Energy getting Nero, getting that nice pick for the team. And at this point, we have Envy trying to keep this thing alive. Cal with 1, now 2. And he's putting on his best Bucky impression, Vicky, as they fight for more.
Oh, but with Vision having that res, that's the win condition that FlyQuest wanted to save the Adam Warlock for. They bring everybody back after flipping the point 0 to 99, but walking up as FlyQuest want to take advantage and want to take it back again right here as Cal is still up on the high ground, trying to look to recontest here, at least while Energy calls in this Doctor Strange portal to help out the rest of FlyQuest, as now an Envy with Nero having the fate of both worlds, they look to re-engage.
Folks, this is the grand finals, exactly what you would think of match number 1 coming down to the wire. These teams both won at top seed and all the pride that comes with it now as the seduction comes out. Vest looking for more here now as Spark Chief's going to move in, try to get that pressure. My gosh, the vantage point out of a horror movie now. Window down. Cal to follow. Speeder gets the trade, folks. Eyes on the overtime, though, as it's ticking. Speeder up. Someone's got to stay on this thing as now FlyQuest continues to push them out of this.
And FlyQuest having that advantage here as overtime is literally a pixel away. Spark Chief comes slamming down on that Captain America after using up this freedom charge here. Gets put to sleep temporarily. Speedery getting taken out once again. They're playing very split up with Kaluch just trying to stay alive on this Doctor Strange. He's got the Eye of Agamotto. It's got to go hard, but no follow potential as Window is close to that Feast of the Abyss.
This is what you want here. Absolute carnage and civil war. Nobody's dying. It's plot armor now as the push off Kalush. They save it. This strategist play is unmatched now. Window with the Feast of the Abyss. Vicky, my God, what a show. He's going up, down, and tries to get something with it. Nothing connects, or at least the follow-up doesn't happen now. Zelos and team all together. Teams are evenly matched. Nero going to show out. And right now, FlyQuest without a strategist ultimate outside of 1. The res as Kalush gets Vez down.
Man, that may be all they need in this situation with Vez getting taken out and coming right back with the Psionic Seduction. Vision wants to hold on to it because this fight is going to get elongated. Here you go. The rise again with Month having the resustain. Vision brings them back while Gal and Speedery think they have the advantage. The Psionic Seduction then comes out from Vez. Cooper trying to desperately stay alive. Mother knows best with a choke slam. You have the Eye of Agamotto from Kalush. Nero gets stunned in the back, but no strategist minus Vision alive from FlyQuest.
This is absolute insanity. How is this still going on, viewers? What are we watching here in the grand finals now? Energy with more. Gets the pop on Speedery. Takes the Fly King out of this now as FlyQuest has the Agamotto looking for more. Spark Chief gets Window. Kalush is out of this thing. It's FlyQuest getting one after the other. They get another pop, and that is point 1 going to FlyQuest. Are you kidding me? Vicky.
How long did that take in overtime?
I need to know. I need to know from production. What was the total time on that map 1? That has to be the longest domination point that I've ever called. And Vicky, that's coming from me and you, who got X versus Envy, which I thought was like forever. I mean, that was insane.
During stage 1, man. The real ones know. The real ones know. That was crazy, but I do not expect any different, Cozy, when it comes to 2 of the best teams in America's facing off against each other. You even saw, by the way, the desperate swap over to the Rocket to get that BRB to get everyone back in, considering Envy didn't have that replication of the Adam Warlock.
In the rotation of roles, Energy just going to Strange, playing it to the T perfectly. The stats are going to be absolutely ballistic if this thing goes to map number 3 here. And, thoughts and prayers for Vicky and I's voices. If this is the first bit of it, I don't know what is going to happen for the rest of this thing. As the map opens up, we get ready for point 2, Vic.
Let's roll out. One of my favorite parts, too, of Celestial Husk, when you have that low to high ground that it provides here over by that rock. Venom's so good on this iteration of the map too, and not only disrupting the piece, but at stalling in that middle console. Spark Chief also has that freedom charge to start things off, as well as Speedery, who's going to start that fight with the extermination.
Already good calls there on the ultimate. Looking for me, I think Energy having that 76% in climbing is going to be a big win con. Cooper is so close there to the show. Can they get it in time to keep everyone alive? Nice little healing there to keep everybody good. Extermination out. Nothing to follow from it outside of Spark Chief. Will be the first to answer the call there from Steve Rogers pushing in. Wow, it's Month cornered and absolutely demolished there. Energy 1, make it 2. That was the difference. They're going to get this point first at the hands right now of Winter Soldier and Captain America. How classic.
We talked about it before, but Energy being on that Bucky with these resets, following up with the survivability of Spark Chief 2 with the Freedom Charge, just had way more impact than the extermination that really Envy only had to work with there.
I mean, this is just so crazy of a matchup now. These teams lining up. Cal's got that Phoenix. Window a little far to combine that there with the Venom. They can go Seduction route. They're going to have to win a lot in the neutral now. We'll see if Cal uses that early, but unfortunately, Vision can just counteract anything that comes out of it. Cooper and Zelos up to charge 2. They can get this thing to 99 if they play it right now. Cal's going to choose to use this early, Vicky. Diving in now as Cooper puts on the show.
Trying to follow up from Window 2, trying to dive that backline, but when you lose out on Month first because Energy is constantly harassing the entire team, still hitting heads. It looks like a meatball shooter at this point as they send Envy back.
Energy now getting up to that Kraken yet again. He needed 1. That's all they needed to get the point last time. 45% in climbing. Energy now 65, 66. Here we go. Looking at what they've got now, too. I mean, the sustain is going to be for days, Vic, because Zelos to Vision. Spark Chief will be shortly after. They can just snowball this thing. We're in for another long battle.
I'm ready for it here, Cozy, as we get the extermination to start things off, but it's going to be answered by the invisible boundary that Zelos was holding. Cooper's taking a nap from Month, who also has that soul resurgence to bring everybody in that position, but it's going to be the fate of both worlds to combat that, as Vez has that psionic seduction, and Window is going to try to bring everybody together with the Feast of the Abyss. Born again as Aura Warlock is going to be able to try to bring Vez back together. Spark Chief will come right back around too, and even with these slight picks that Envy is finding, FlyQuest are regrouped again.
It was a good job by Envy because, again, FlyQuest had what they needed. Love watching Nero there chase after Window, who's ulted with the damage boost. Come back. I need to give you 40% off, but they don't need it as Cal and Window get the rest of FlyQuest out of this thing. And what would you guess, Vicky? We're going to have yet another point cap swap, and we will most certainly see another 99 to 99.
Saw that 3K from Cal, by the way, and it's great that they flipped it at this point, too. It wasn't that 99% percentile that FlyQuest had to flip in that first round, but now looking at Envy and the ultimate economy that they're going to be working with shortly, Phoenix about to have that ultimate Month, still holding on to that soul resurgence, while FlyQuest and Energy having those resets, and Cooper could keep him alive with the fate of both worlds.
All right, now looking forward, you got the damage boost up. Cal's going to try to continue to get these opening picks. Energy with Kraken Impact, Vic. So for me, you're going to try to get that damage boosted Kraken. And Speeder won't be able to keep that up. Month, though, should. So we'll see here what they try to do. They're aware of this. They know Energy has taken some time before he got that once again. And so going into maybe a lead there with Spark Chief to get a little distraction as Energy now low. Again, they know what they need to do here. Kraken Impact ready to go with the damage boost to follow. Look for it.
More of this poke pressure, though, and noticing Cal being the problem, getting away with literal murder now. The Freedom Charge comes out as Speedery keeps the team alive while also putting in the pressure to build up space, trying to force him to back away with that Freedom Charge to also heal up the strategist. Now Speedery has to drive down as Month has that soul resurgence. The follow-up, the damage boost here. They try to get the follow-up, but it's going to get answered by Cooper to keep them alive. That's what it was saved for, and now Energy could hold forward. Month gets taken out, and Cal is trying to do something about it.
What an insane finish there on the Phoenix. Shut that down. And by the way, deleted Month from the video game there with the damage boost. That's what they wanted. Energy now going for Nero. Speedery to combo. They knew exactly what they needed to do. And yet again, it's Energy with damage boost and more, getting what he wants out of this team now as Kaluge forced to rotate and try to keep this thing competitive. Now Window running around the Rosie there, but he's gone, and it's going back over to FlyQuest, who's going to get this thing again 99 to 99.
Ooh, gotta get rid of that foundational win condition. Month being the first one out. As you mentioned, Cozy, FlyQuest knowing exactly what they need to prioritize, and they have the resurrection too with Envy trying to recontest.
Already now here as looking forward, Vision does have the res. In terms of Envy, they've got a lot of neutral battle ahead of them. Speedery can get a little bit out of that experimentation. Not getting what they want here, even though the ban certainly went their way. FlyQuest, very comfortable with how this thing went. Cooper with window gone is such a huge opening to this thing, Vicky. Venom can get back quickly here, so they're going to look to follow that Speeder now, evening the odds, giving time window to come back. But no, it's going to be Vision with the res, getting Zealous into this thing here now as they push forward, and it's going to be Vest getting Kalush on top of Speedery. Goodness.
Oh, and then Vision is still bringing everyone back because he's Spreedery breaking his neck to look at where that Adam Warlock res is coming from underneath the bridge from that low ground in the caves. Overtime taking away, and with Cal already getting that reset off the Phoenix, the number advantage is not in Envy's favor. The Mantis went down with the Soul Resurgence, and now Kalush is desperately trying to touch a point before he's met with a choke slam.
I mean, are you kidding me, Vicky? What a way to open this thing up instead of 2-0 Envy. No, the last time they went against each other. Now it is FlyQuest 2-0. I'm out of breath. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm sure the viewers are out of breath and they're just watching, Vic. That was an insane first match.
Already getting me on the edge of my seat. You know, that's what I like to see here. And FlyQuest adding another point on the board for their domination record. Sure, they lost out on that one time on domination. Now you could change that point to 4-1 on Dom here as FlyQuest take the first game in our best of 5 series.
Yeah, and it was what I thought at Cal versus Energy there in terms of kind of who's getting the best of each other, both playing lights out there. But it's going to be the Vanguards on the other side that did the job. And for me, I think the key difference there, we've seen Month and Nero play better. Let's just face it. Speeder was, doing okay there on the Ultron. But altogether, I thought the strategist front of FlyQuest is what gave them that victory.
100% energy too, noting what you need to do first and how to crumble the win con that Envy wants to lean into. You get rid of Month, you get rid of that damage boost. And once that crumbles, Speedery is not enabled, Cal is not enabled, Window can't properly dive there on the Venom, and they kept getting disrupted, by the way, especially in this first point, by Zelos on that Invisible Woman on top of the Bucky CC.
Which is what's so funny and what I love about the meta in this game. Last time they went against each other, Envy never got access to Ultron or Mantis one time, Vicky. Not one time was that combo available. They got it this time, but it did not matter here. As we take a look at our MVP, and it's Cooper-tastic, who, if these things were actual medals, would be having a room full of them, getting yet another one there with the wink and point there from Luna Snow. 18-5, and it's going to be the 51k healing for me, Vic.
He's always doing it. He's always doing this. We talked about it in the pre-show for a reason. Cooper on fire, only going down 5 times there, but it was a support 51k in a lot of those close fights at the very end.
I mean, I'm going to need Luna in this room because I'm hot. I got to turn the AC down during the break. I mean, I'm already on fire here in terms of what we're seeing, Vic. But listen, this is what I expected, and this is not going to be... I would be shocked if we see a 3-0, Vic. I mean, I think these two teams are going to continue to go back and forth. Like we saw in that battle, could have gone one or the other, but it was FlyQuest cleaned it up.
I'm expecting this going to Game 5, honestly. Just looking at the way that we had these teams play out earlier in the bracket, looking at the way that the fight went down in overtime for round 1 and 2, I'm not surprised. Imagine if that Doctor Strange portal came out, they didn't get body blocked or chokeslammed by the Emma Frost. That's something that they're going to note going into that next game too, right? Because Emma Frost actually got away from that ban phase for both these teams. So we got to see how map number 2 is going to go.
While we take a quick moment to reset, I'm going to see if production can pull how long that first fight was. I got to get the numbers on this thing, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let's face it or not, this thing's just getting started. We're going to reset, reload after this quick break. Hello and welcome back from what was an insane map 1, folks. That was 9 minutes and nearly 30 seconds, close to 10 minutes, Vicky, of just 1 point on domination. That is absolute insane from these two top teams. And listen, you can only ban so many as we continue to talk about this, Vicky. They got rid of the Star-Lord, and you can't get rid of them all. Winter Soldier almost never warrants a ban, but Energy made it look like he should.
Yeah, you just get the silent seduction into Bucky go crazy, and then you don't find Vision, you don't stop the reses, and that's how you stop them from coming back to winning. Vision not getting called out was a very big deal if you look at the other side of Envy, who couldn't really isolate that, right? Speedery at times, even activating the Ultron Ultimate, could not really find him. He was activating and doing a good amount of pressure from above, but then when you have Month being on the Mantis, after they were able to actually use the Mantis since they protected it, the Mantis going down first a lot, and even with Ultimate was also their just demise.
Yeah, for me too, I think the biggest difference was Window. Window, we've seen a much better games from him in the past. He got eliminated 11 times. Venom, I mean, he was just trying to run around the point to even try to stay alive. If he dove in, they were fine with it. They rotated up. The comms were great. And so for me, look for the difference there of what Window decides to do. Kalush versus Vest, that's a classic that we knew we'd hop into. But that to me was a big standout between that map.
That, and if you look at the Luna Snow healing output too, right? You had Cooper at the very end and Nero too. Nero had 33,000 damage output, whereas Cooper had 51,000 as we saw on that MVP screen. Not only that, you're also able to put down a good amount of damage, right? You had 12,587 damage in favor for Cooper on that Luna Snow, whereas Nero, who had made some swaps too, only had basically less than 10,000. So looking at that backline and the strengths of the backline from FlyQuest, there has to be certain isolation bans going into the second map.
And you think we're talking a lot. The FlyQuest group, they're all together in one room. And so that room must have sounded ridiculous for that 9-minute fight. I mean, just comms on comms. Remember they said everybody needs to communicate. That was one thing that separates this team from the one that lost and didn't make it to China. Well, if they're common, then that room is just an absolute audience. And that's what is just fun to watch with this level of play. Envy, though, they have what it takes. They are just so clutch under pressure. Never worry about being down one game. They were up one game last time. We've seen the reverse sweep before. Now we're here again.
Get to see what the next map is going to look like here, though, because that's domination done and dusted, and we got best of 5 on our hands here, Cozy. If we do go the distance, we do see a game 4, we'll be moving right back over onto domination, but it showcases Envy losing out on one of their best game modes.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see Yggdrasil here. This is what Fly would pick. Fly looks very good on Yggdrasil path, so we probably will head into what could be a Midtown. Okay, I like it. Yeah, we got Midtown here is what Envy's going to choose, and this is what they like to see, as I expect to have 2 Jeff bans probably following yet again, as Fly's probably very comfortable with Envy having what they had.
Oh, it's the double Emma. Okay, all right. We were talking about that at the very end, right? Like Emma getting through, you know, on domination. If you want to let the Emma get through, domination is probably the best you could have it if you want to experiment too with the pick and ban to see what you want to lean into. But we're moving on to convoy, right? So we can expect that triple Vanguard, triple strategist. So you get Emma out of there, you protect the Magneto, but at least you won't have that team up with the Magneto and Emma being on the ban from the Emma on the side.
Yeah, that's been the bread and butter for this team, as they get the mag saved every time. And I think when, usually it's going to be Vest with the mag save. And so you'll probably see that here in just a moment. It's going to instead be there for Envy. Love that, again, Speedery nominated pick there, or ban, shall I say. And with the save, do they go Jeff? Watch, that'd be insane. No, they got to go mag here. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Got to get the main tank.
Gotta get the protection going here. And I do like the ban on the torch, though. Looking at FlyQuest, just seeing how speedery that flyer has been on a map like Midtown. You have a lot of more of that verticality, getting in the line of sights, utilizing the buildings, too. As Envy, looking into that next ban. Oh, it's gonna be the Groot.
Oh, I like the Groot call. Okay. Very, Spark Chief plays an absolute mean Groot. Can also flex into anything, but Hulk also to follow. So they know what they like, especially on this point. I think Groot is just a very good hero on the main street. Ooh, the Vanguard line. This is always fun. They actually tried this approach before. No portal back, but also just no strange in general makes things a lot tougher for this team. The Jeff ban, like it. If this ban is not Jeff, though, for Envy, you're giving them what gave them so much clutchness the first time they met.
Especially if they know that Envy's going to play way more group together. Just looking at the fact that Envy's trying to ban out the Vanguard lineup when they see that they're going to be the ones on the defense here too. So with Mantis getting protected, that's going to be the priority that FlyQuest want to lean into this time around, as the Mantis was banned against them in the last game.
Okay, so last ban, who do they go with? And it's going to be the Ultron. Okay, so that does leave, you know, good old Jeff Jaws, and John Williams is back here for FlyQuest. As far as the save goes, I mean, heck, they can do what they just did and get the Mantis or Ultron if they feel like that's the route they want to go with. I don't know, though, because it just didn't work last time. The Ultron, I understand not saving that. The Mantis needs to happen. This next ban is probably Ultron then, no?
That's what I would think, because they did protect the Ultron last time around, unless they want to do more of a target ban, because they're basically, the Vanguards have been dismantled here, looking at a triple Vanguard ban out from Envy. As they're hovering over it, we're going to see, maybe it's going to be that Ultron. No, it's going to be the Doctor. Okay, I like this too, because if one team can't portal in to contest on the points, neither can the other one. So all those elongated fights that we were talking about before, Cozy, you could wipe them off the table unless we get some clutch reses coming out.
And look at the difference here. They're going to have Speeder go to what I would assume maybe Psylocke. And then Nero will now be flexing over. Actually, I guess, you know, we're probably going to see Envy go out with a bit more aggression than Psylocke. Yeah, okay, you got this aggressive push that they did last time here. Kaluge on the Thor, and then Speedery, you know, have your pick between Moon Knight and friends there. Getting it done as we head into map 2, Midtown. And much different comps from them. You know, we could expect, you know, symbiote shenanigans potentially there from FlyQuest. Spark Chief can flex the Venom if needed. But for the triple Vanguard start here, we're going to get a bit of a different look than what we'll see the rest of the map per usual, Vic.
Yeah, something else you actually mentioned earlier on, Cozy, Spark Chief being able to utilize that Hulk. Maybe the Hulk and the more composition that we've seen time and time again in the past here as we get set up on Midtown, because that's another just, you know, combo that you could actually utilize here after you break through that chokehold of the triple Vanguard, triple strategist. You're gonna have the Rocket as well for the defending team to bring back either a Vanguard coming into that fight, just so that way you could re-engage. But let's get this going already, starting really nice here, going into map number 2 with FlyQuest leading the way.
Yeah, this is what we've got as the teams are already going, and we are jumping right into this thing. No time wasted now as Energy locking in the Star-Lord. And yes, it is Spark Chief. That's what I thought on the Venom. Have the symbiote shenanigans going, and the classic 3 strategist comp we've seen so many times, but not triple tank. FlyQuest has typically ran with at least Energy doing his thing, but Energy can flex as we've seen before, and what he did on Strange now, opening up those Speeder. He is going to be in the air. They did swap it up on us when they got down the elevator.
We did talk about that Cal V Energy matchup on the Star-Lord, but with Vez finding Monk first and not having that rocket from the other side, you're not going to be able to come back. But at least Envy having the spawn rooms right there, considering that they're on the attack, they'll come right back together. Energy is harassing them from the high ground here, but Vision also having that Jeff. You have to talk about that backline could be oppressed. But Speedery getting that extermination first here for Ultron to open things up before backing away to build up space.
And Vess is just crazy. I mean, just a name we haven't talked about much because he wasn't at China. We talked about him on the show a bunch whenever all of us casters got together and highlighted our favorite Vanguard. Vess was that role here, but looking at it during the same window, tries to get the Groot rolling now as Cal. POVS back into safety. They are pushing this thing pretty well. Vicky, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Legendary Cal coming up, showing the legend of duelist that he has been for so long on so many occasions now, trying to get something rolling. Nothing to come from it. At least going to be able to pop and get something rolling for his team, though, and pressure cooking.
Yeah, it was countered by the Soul Resurgence of the Mantis Ultimate, and with Vision having that Jeff, it's Jeff, wondering how the way that Envy's going to be able to get grouped up together, maybe countered versus Nero getting an invisible boundary in the next 2 fights. But Kaluge has that Meteor M, and Monk can get everybody into position with that Soul Resurgence as Window is the next to fall, and FlyQuest actually gets to restabilize on the defense.
Yeah, and as far as Vision and Jeff, it's not the best part of the map for the Jeff, but either way, they're very comfortable with the game plan they're going in. Vest does have that Meteor M ready to roll. Good stop, though, and, you know, the push was not bad to get things rolling for Envy, and so I like what they have got going on as Speeder gets Zelos out of this thing, which is a nice pick, who is at 87%. Hey, how about 1, make it 3, moving to 4. They're going to get this thing really hard to contest. Strange is out of this thing, allowing them to push up, showing a lot of aggro here now, forcing the team to desperately push and hold.
It's a difference when FlyQuest is unable to play Ultron. The benefits of having Ultron is that ult charge coming online so fast to open up the fight. As the Groot hug comes out here, doesn't miss though, or rather it does miss here, as Spark Chief is the first one to get taken out. No reset on the Feast of the Abyss as the Meteor M comes up. Where does it come crashing down? It does hit one from the side here, and it's going to be Cal, but he stays alive, and Kaluge finds another pick, this time onto Energy.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I do like Window using the ult there, just trying to get that last bit of pressure to get the hold. It's going to be Vest hanging up for dear life. Somehow still alive. How the hell is he doing now as Cal getting the fires out now with Nero invisible boundary up. A huge sleep there, shutting that down though. Cal taking a quick nap on top of the bus. Wake up, buddy. It's the grand finals now as Vision gets 2 as Speedery and Window, and he's heading to spawn. Not going to make it, but getting them way out of contention.
Trying to get them out of here, but needs a good amount of help as Cooper finds Cal to split them up, and Vision trying to get back to the rest of his team.
Wow.
Does get healed up, but that was the counter that we talked about from the It's Jeff versus Nero having the Invisible Woman ult. We also saw a Meteor M from Kaluj get blocked out by Vez, and this is FlyQuest, who would now have run another team fight despite being down originally to recontest.
Whether it's just with the Meteor Imps or just always with the neutral Vic, like, doesn't it feel like this man always hits his shot from the person trying to escape or getting back to their team? I mean, the guy can always nail the magnetic power there, as Speedery does have extermination. They won't have anything to match it, which is going to help a lot, but they do have one, and that's Energy with the dual pistols.
Speedery has the Ultron Rage, though. Energy sending out that legendary. It's gonna be the month Mantis ultimate to keep everybody in Envy here together. And now it's going to be met with Cal having that ultimate to suppress them. And FlyQuest don't have strategist ults just yet. Zelos was close to it, but falls with the Invisible Woman. And with no sustainability, Envy have been able to clear up this point for now.
Clutch Cal, man. Clutch Cal. What an absolutely huge legendary. Both of them popped it. He was the one that lived the sense of the word now. Damage boost up. And both teams have Mantis. Both have the damage boost ready. I don't foresee the comp changing for FlyQuest. I think they'll like what they have here going into the second point.
What really came in clutch was Month having that Soul Resurgence for that second to last fight there on to try to combat that of Energy. It's really useful to have that strategist ultimate to deal with these Star-Lords flying in the sky. Vision close to the It's Jeff, and Cooper has that Soul Resurgence to start off this fight, getting everybody into position. But Kalush has that Meteor M. As they try to split up the team, though, they're getting disrupted thanks to Spark Chief diving on that back line.
Only a minute 50 yet, so they can't really they can't really afford to miss or lose too many of these battles. Maybe one for forgiveness here now as Energy is just climbing that ult up, ready to go. Look what FlyQuest has, Vic. I mean, they have exactly what they need here, as Kalush is going to maybe save that for the Vision ultimate now, as Speedery pushing back, trying to get something rolling, keeping his team up. Kaluj just staying alive here. Look at the aggression of FlyQuest.
Yeah, and they need to do it to suppress them here in this choke. There's a great place to hold them, and now Energy tries to use the legendary, but it gets combated by the invisible boundary. Forced to back away. He does get saved by the Magneto bubble. Good way to also peel and back. And look at Envy right now with the Meteor M that they have ready and the legendary ready to go. They don't really have anything to combat this unless Vision gets the craziest It's Jeff.
Let's see what Kaluj decides to do. He's always been huge for this team now, as Cal going up with another legendary. This one in the point last time. It's going to be now instead going to be Vest countering and defense play on the legendary, but Cooper still sneaks out and is eliminated. Zealous to follow Vest as well. This is a good battle from Envy. They're going to have 43 seconds. Surely going to go to overtime, Vicky. They're going to have at least one more battle. Probably only one, with the Strange Portal being out. Maybe two.
Once again, didn't have a strategist ultimate conserved for the counter on the legendary from the Star-Lord ultimate right there. It keeps happening back to back here, as FlyQuest have to keep that in mind as they have Cooper coming up on that Soul Resurgence, Zelos 2 with the invisible boundary, and approaching that second checkpoint.
Yeah, they had Vest, but it wasn't enough. The Meteor only does so much of a defensive effort there, and the timing was perfect, as Vision has the big difference maker. Envy oftentimes would play great, but it came down to Jaws himself as the music plays, and it's going to be Kalush throwing in. There it is. Look at this. I mean, it's just so, when you lose two strategists, Speedery with a good rotation and trying to keep the team alive at the same time. That's the use of extermination you want to see now, as a visible boundary up by Zelos, Vicky, to keep FlyQuest in this thing.
Oh, beautiful follow-up, though, from Vez right there. Spark Chief had used a piece of the Abyss with a tether to try to force that Ultron down. Then they get the follow-up. Window brings everybody together, but nobody is there to help sustain him. Kalush is the last one alive, and it's just a matter of time before FlyQuest clear that point. Overtime ticking away, and no heads from Envy, and no Doctor Strange.
No magic to save you this time. What a defensive effort. This is the map that Envy picked as well. Are you kidding me? FlyQuest. Insanity.
Including which side you're
Breaking that down, Cozy, even when they were almost held back before that first checkpoint, the way that they're calling out the ult rotations here from the opposite side, it's difficult. It's been really hard here. Even better with FlyQuest now starting things off on the attack.
Yeah, the strategist ults have been on point so many times. I mean, we have seen just game-saving ult and leading into that aggression every single time, whether it's Zelos putting the invisible boundary behind the payload and having the team push up and continue that pressure. Envy is who I usually see as the aggressive team, but FlyQuest, I mean, they just look like they're not even at all worried about who is the team that made it to the grand finals and just games away from winning the whole thing and being crowned as the best team in Rivals across the world. No, FlyQuest is not shaken.
Envy, though, now going to be able to try to continue on this domination. Look at the stats right here. 17-2. Speedery conserving that Ultron ultimate to deal with the Itch Jet from Vision. That's why Vision was also a little hesitant at times, too. Needed some protection from the Magneto bubble, but out of the line of sight, while also the invisible boundaries were called in from Nero. Way better look here from Envy now as we get started with Envy being on the defense.
Yeah, they can definitely hold this. I mean, that was... In regular play, you'd be extremely mad. I mean, look at the insanity of the squirrel there, but you'd be so mad at how far you push that, you know, in just rank play. But in pro, they're comfortable. They can hold it right here if they need to, right? So we'll see if Envy can button up and get this defense down, starting with the Vanguards out of the Fortress and the backbone of the team.
Speedery still taking to the skies here with that Ultron. FlyQuest still sticking to the jet, but has to be highlighted. His energy was on that magic, made the quick swap over to the Star-Lord. It's usually used here to just break through that chokehold, but the Envy's positioning makes it even harder considering that they're not running that triple Vanguard, right? They still have Cal now on that Phoenix as they had to deal with the plethora of, rather, they were the ones that dealt the plethora of bans onto FlyQuest.
Yeah, I like that you're just seeing, I mean, even just meta change right here and what we see from all teams do. They're going the classic of what is strong about triple strategists into the duelist pick. Star-Lord v. Jean Grey right now. Obviously in the comics that matchup would be different, but in Rivals it's looking a lot closer here with energy at the helm of Peter Quill. Now Kalush taking down Vest. That's a big opening. Speedery as well using the extermination. Only using this ult to get this team reset is massive for this pick.
He's going to be able to charge it up just as quick all over again, right? And now you get to see Munt just put that damage output onto Cal eventually once he's in that line of sight and being on the Phoenix up on the high ground. You also have the reset opportunity that Cal has from the ult here. And Window's about to get the Groot hug.
Yeah, coming out and resetting from the spawn here. You've got a good angle from energy with swap from Star-Lord to try to match Cal. Is just getting those picks there with the sparks. That is Ignite right now that we find ourselves in grand final. Speedery getting some, but energy gonna get Month out of this thing. They found Month time and time again, Vicky. That is who they have found to get out of this battle and get this more of a fair fight.
Nice counter though from the invisible boundary from both sides. It's a Venn diagram. It's Itch Jet though to bring them together. He calls out the Ultron. May need some help as he's getting targeted, but he has the health pack right there as the insurance policy. Let's take a quick trip here to isolate you from the rest of your team while you will have to watch them fall before your eyes.
And quick little pit stop there at the health pack to ensure you're topped off with a long journey ahead. And I mean, everything he tried to do, Speedery just tried to get out of that thing. And Speedery is deadly on Ultron. I just love seeing this man more in the duelist position, but how the pick bans have been going, this is the rotation they need to roll with. Envy Month at 87% and climbing now, and look what FlyQuest has to what they can do though. I mean, it's like they're looking so good here in terms of ult economy.
The Freedom Charge now to start things off to try to deal with that of Cal being on that Phoenix with energy, diving down and finding Month first. It's the Mantis who goes out with the Soul Resurgence. That could have flipped this fight because now FlyQuest have the number advantage once again.
It's the boot camp buff. We're seeing it yet again as Zelos and the strategist get it done. Spark Chief getting a good stagger there on Collusion. Y'all are seeing it right here, y'all, as the top seed is going to be cemented in the seeding stage, and FlyQuest is looking like they deserve it. But hey, don't call it too soon. Envy, they're ready to go. 3 minutes 26 seconds left in this, and FlyQuest can do a bit of neutral charging. This is the perfect place to do it though, Vic, here in the second point, charging up for the end of the battle.
It's great, but with Spark Chief and also Window being on that Captain America now too, you have to keep your eyes on that point for any pesky stalling potential as Nero's able to find Vez. That's huge. No Meteor M now, no Cooper. You're down now another member with only 3 left from FlyQuest. Envy, I'm not too sure if they really needed that right there from the Soul Resurgence. So that's a used up Mantis ultimate, sadly, as FlyQuest were already outnumbered.
Yeah, it comes down to that, though. I mean, Month, you know, you definitely want that one back. They couldn't do it all day last match because Cap was banned. Remember, we talked about that now. A little bit of a different look window, finding what he's comfortable on here. So now Month is going to get the pick back over to Energy. That'll give him time to charge up from what was the misuse of the ultimate, or at least a little bit of a delayed timing. Now, Cal does have the Phoenix ready to rock. He can use that on aggression mode if he wants to return to the White Room or try to combo.
Oh, it's a Steve v. Steve matchup real quick. The Ditto, as Spark is going to try to disrupt the back line before diving into Zelos, or rather the back line here of Nero. He's forced to call in the invisible boundary as Energy's able to find Cal. Envy have 3 of these ultimates still available for them to rotate through, especially for Speedery, who's gotten a lot of impact with that ult on Rage.
Yeah, they still have window as well to try to sustain the team. Speedery going down with the extermination, though. Wolf, that's not good, though. They're going to just try to keep this thing alive. Kalu's just riding the Freedom Trail, just trying to get this thing going. He's forced to ult, at least trying to, but he's waiting out the timing. Not going to get anything out of it. Month is getting close back. 94% Soul Resurgence coming back, but no! Vest with a huge elim. That's massive.
Ooh, the attack cancels, the spark cancels, and the immediate retaliation from Energy with a beautiful 3K.
I mean, Vest with the huge Speeder and Month both out with the ult ready to go. I mean, that is awful. But minute and 28 seconds left. They're surely going to get this thing to overtime, right? So it does come down essentially to that one fight. But what do you have to do to get there? Speeder and Month are going to have to use what they have to keep this team alive.
FlyQuest have everything. Spark Chip does go down real quick here with a quick sleep temporarily. It does waste some time from that Freedom charge. But the extermination now follows up as Nero and Window are able to terrorize Vest and Zelos, taking a quick little trip here before Speedery shuts down Vision once again, but outnumbered here as FlyQuest are dropping like flies.
Yeah, but look what they use, Vic, and look what FlyQuest has. 57 seconds left. Nero most certainly is going to be able to get theirs, but the rotation back to Month could be a tough one here. Vision far, though, as well. Cooper will be the only thing they have, so it is closer than you might think, but Energy has been on fire, quite literally. We'll see if they get the combo there with Vest.
They had the word Ignite to Ignite here, but Energy also has that reset. Looking at Cooper right now with that Soul Resurgence, getting that damage boost too, as Zelos is also about to have that survivability. This is going to be a long one here, Cozy, as Nero's got the invisible boundary. Envy now have to wait this out. Venge tries to slam down the meteor end, but it misses.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the strategist for Envy right now and watch that ult tick up. Speedery's close, 71% climbing. Surely going to get this thing first out. Energy, though, knows that he is finding that win con. Someone's shouting out the ult. It's going to be Speedery out of this thing. That's exactly what they needed. 2.63 to make this 2-0. Dive down goes Cal. Window's going to be able to stall this thing to get back. But 78 climbing. Speedery now. Kalush back into spawn. No strange portal back. It's 2 v the rest. Window can only stay alive so long, Vicky. But here it comes. It's Jeff once again. 2.1. Kalush back 1-0. It is FlyQuest with the win.
It's Jeff doing Jeff things, right? Trying to disrupt them on the way back from the spawn room gates. But FlyQuest, someone needs to let them know it's not a speed run here in this grand finals, because now they are sitting at match point.
You guys are welcome for not giving you the casting curse there, FlyQuest, as you continue to rock and roll. But remember, we are best of 5, Vic. So there is still time to adapt. All these teams have done reverse sweeps to one another before. It is nothing new here at the top levels of Ignite. Now looking at the stats, Vic, what jumps out to you other than exactly what we thought, the Calvi Energy battle?
Energy with 18 final hits. Yes, you put down 28,000 damage, but look at the side from Speedery, right? You talk about how you really like him up in the air. He could utilize that Ultron as that hybrid duelist here, as well as that support that he could put down with the shields, but he puts down a good amount of damage. It's not going to be enough with the impact that the Mantis had together with the Phoenix.
Yeah, and what did we say earlier? I thought the team that had the better strategist was FlyQuest, and it surely showed there. I mean, there was about a 10,000 difference across the board. Speeder and Month there, apart from what we saw of Cooper and friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I would expect not to see the same comp, and Speeder is going to get off Ultron. That's what I would expect going into this next one. I mean, it's crazy too, because they have the comp they want, Vicky. Absolutely. But it is just right now different in this matchup between the two greatest teams here in North America now, Kalush, and just showing what they did to try to stop FlyQuest, but it wasn't enough.
And that's together with looking at FlyQuest still leaning into this Jeff, something that we've been saying banned against them. Meanwhile, Vision has still been able to put on the healing pressure with 27,000 healing and still able to get some KOs too. But we're looking at the MVP being energy on that Phoenix. We saw the attack cancels, we saw the stacks coming on, and we saw the sparks fly. Damage boosted Phoenix makes your eyes water, and you got to enjoy it while you can before 4.5 drops.
And that's what's so fun. You can see teams that rely on her, and yes, energy was great on her, but doesn't need Phoenix. And so whenever that is going to inevitably be out of the meta, for sure, because, I mean, go look at the side-by-sides. No melee to get that ignite pop, and the whole play style of Jean is going to change. The reset, you have to wait now to fly again. You don't get ammo replenished. I mean, that character is going to change massively as we head into next 4.5, but it's Season 4 here, and at least the game we're playing in Ignite. 2-0. Vicky, what does Envy have to change up?
We're going to have to see. Maybe the pick and ban phase, you know, it's back to the drawing board for them. I feel like a biggest issue, aside from the Phoenix, which I don't think they're going to reserve a ban for that, is looking at how interesting the Doctor Strange ban came down to even both teams, right? Even at the very end when FlyQuest was on the attack, before that first checkpoint, it made me wonder, imagine if we had that Doctor Strange recontest, but that's where the Captain America gets slotted into place. So I think making sure, depending on what next map we're going to, whether the Jeff is going to have enough input to be able to actually extend with the It's Jeff, or to combat that of the invisible boundary, or if we're not going to have something like that, looking at a triple Vanguard, triple strategist, with maybe the Vanguard lineup getting a focus ban again.
Well, we're going to talk more about this in Game 3. Could be the final one to get our grand final champion on this side of the bracket for FlyQuest versus Envy. Don't go anywhere. After this quick break, we get back to the action.
Smoke screen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Well, hello there and welcome back to the grand finals in Group A as we find now Envy down 2 games to FlyQuest, Vicky, and what has been a pretty confident domination between the two. And if you look at it, there's not a ton that you can change if you're Envy. You have Tap who you can sub in. Cal's playing great though, and so at least he's playing, pretty well in my opinion. So don't know if that's going to be the Band-Aid fix. Pig band-wise, they're probably happy with what they've been able to play with. I mean, this is going to be a tough kind of come back to the strategy board for this team right now.
Yeah, I want to talk about those ultimates, man. I mean, we even saw that Mantis ultimate used up at the end of a fight there, which, we're hoping that you'll be able to boost up that Mantis ultimate just as quick after you used it. But maybe some unnecessary trigger pulls that we saw there. Maybe wrong timing, too. We know that Nero's a really solid cloak and dagger, which we haven't seen thus far, I believe. But we have to talk about which map we're moving on to, because I think this is very interesting. We're going back now this time to Central Park, which is a gamble because Envy wants to take FlyQuest here, considering that they lost. They're going to choose what side they want to start on. But Central Park is the best gamble they could take because they're 1-1 currently on Central Park, and FlyQuest has only played on Central Park here. They haven't played on Hall Jollia, they haven't played on Symbiotic Surface, and the one time they did play on Central Park, they went 1-0.
Yeah, it was down to the wire against them. And I mean, if they play with this going to Central Park, I would think Jeff is gone because there's just so many great quick value picks you can get out of there. So you would at least see that change. Maybe we get Psylocke and Speedery, that combo that is just so deadly for so long now. As we look at it, 2-0, FlyQuest on top. Now remember, this is for the seeding. This is to get top seed. Both teams play great teams out of this, so at least you have that if you're an Envy fan to take away if they don't get the W here. But either way, FlyQuest is looking to repeat back-to-back #1 seeds here in the group stage. That is why it was such a shock this team got eliminated back in June. We forgot some of that insane talent on this team on display right now as we take a look. No roster change. Again, Cal more than doing his part for Envy as we look at what they want to ban. It's going to be Jeff out first.
It's important to highlight, right? We're still here in the group stage. It's all for seeding purposes in the playoffs with America's region starting a little bit late compared to the other regions here. And with FlyQuest already at match point, they're looking to push this forward with Jeff being the first one banned. The Mantis save, though, from Envy. We got to work on the rotations here for those strategists. We're going to see how they're going to change that up with the Torch being the next one banned, which I like because we know how strong Torch is on this map.
Yeah, they certainly are going to want, Month to rotate a little bit more with those ults and communication-wise. But if we look at the first save, they've gotten Magneto time and time again. But no, there it is. Honestly, I completely agree with that. Maybe you go Mag now here if you're Envy, get rid of one of the comfort picks. But Jeff was the reason why this team won this map last time in the reverse sweep here against Envy.
I'm going to note that with the Jeff coming out to play here, wonder what that next ban is going to be, since we were leaning more towards that strategist that we already witnessed. Ultron being the next one I like here too, considering that now FlyQuest, even if they had a Torch in their favor, if Envy don't ban it next, they won't have the presence of the Sky being the Torch together with the Ultron.
Yeah, so Ultron being banned there. Also going to help out what Envy's plan is in Vision for how they shut down Vision as that Land Shark. Here comes the ban, and it is going to be Invis. So keep in mind, they have saved Invis almost every single time in the side of FlyQuest. So cool to see the ban come out. Nice ban on Star-Lord. Cal was popping off on him, so we might see more Phoenix there as the save comes from Fly.
Saw that too from Zealous, right? That very first map, the push and pull, how much it came in clutch here on the Invisible Woman as the Star-Lord is the next protected. And if they do not ban, well, they already banned Ultron. If we do not see that next strategist, maybe here I'm thinking the Jeffy here, we're going to have to see if it's going to be a Vanguard instead. But protecting the Star-Lord in their favor is even better.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lean Magneto for sure. I thought Magneto was going to be that save, but they don't care. Emma is going to be out of it. So now you're looking at what is going to be for FlyQuest, more of a Magneto and Groot, or Magneto and Venom. I mean, that worked so well for them for a little bit on that first bit. Kaluge does get his queen, though, so he's excited about that. But looking at Window, I mean, they've got a couple of comps that they can run that they think they can win this thing with, but they're missing out on Jeff, and that's going to be tough.
And looking on the other side, too, from FlyQuest, having the protection over the Jeff and the Star-Lord, the Ultron, okay, is going to be the next ban. That's what I was wondering here from the other side. And so we get the Mantis Protect, the Emma Protect for Envy, whereas FlyQuest have that Star-Lord. And we know what Energy could do on that Star-Lord. And usually when it comes to triple Vanguard lineup, since they're the ones here on the defense, they're not going to be running that. That's actually something that we're seeing a little bit more often, right? We saw that from Envy with Cal being on the Phoenix, too, where instead they're running the triple strategist, but instead of the triple Vanguard, they have either Energy or Cal running that duelist.
Now's the time in big stages to get, things warmed up, the dust off as we head to the main stage next week. And comms are going to be more important than ever, Vicky, with this next patch. I mean, first you have Daredevil, who's just going to be an insane hero by itself, but also anti-heal being, have you seen Moore's new team up with Hela? Can put out a slow and healing reduction. It's insane what they're bringing into the game. Venom as well. So you're going to have new call-outs, new strategies forming, meta hero shifting, Human Torch, Jean Grey out, Hela in. A lot more changes as we head into Central Park. For what could be our last matchup.
Look, even in ranked, you only have so many bans, right? It's not the same thing that we see here within the MRI, and I don't expect Venom in anyone's games, maybe between the MRI and even in anyone's ladder, to get passed through unless they don't know how crazy those changes are. The anti-heal is definitely going to be interesting, but we're going to have to wait for that one as we get started with Season 4 alone in this Grand Finals. FlyQuest are looking for that victory. Energy being on that Starlord wall. Envy has Speedery on the Wolverine.
All right, we got the defense up first. Zelos on that rocket to get that res, as pointed out now. Vest on Eric, who has just been such a menace. Magneto has been crazy in the hands of Vest. Now Spark Chief things, always just playing the crazy heroes, whether it's Hulk, Venom. Love watching this guy's play in the cams of it now. Energy getting some good poke damage on the rotation. Gotta love when that tower does the reform there, messing up a bit of the pathing. But Kalush opens up first out of the gate, expects some aggression, but that's why the rocket is so important.
That's why the CC comes in clutch too from Kalush and Speedery, eventually trying to get that kidnap here, and the whole goal is going to be Spark diving in together with Energy onto that backline. But it's Envy who are holding this choke for now. They have to split their attention up on the high ground as Cal's going to try to counter that of Energy with this Phoenix. You get the damage boost too from the Mantis, and they're distracted. Something else to note is that you have to talk about Month having that Loki instead.
Now watch window here. Watch where he's going. Speeder gets a huge follow-up. There's the imprisonment. Cal now going to pop the Phoenix. Looks for the combo. Gets nothing, but Vision's out of there. There's no res back. Energy getting Nero out. That back line has fallen time and time again to the man known as Energy. Now pushing in for more. Cal, though, Kalush to follow. We do have Strange, though, and Vest is going to rotate to open things up. Oh, my.
Vision!
God.
Oh, no, but he doesn't have the... Okay, he gets away with it. He gets away with it. I was wondering. He didn't have a Magneto bubble, but he still gets away with it. This forces out the reset from Envy. Huge It's Jeff coming out from Vision, and that was when Vision, by the way, got targeted by what looked like everything blowing up on him. We saw the Gru hug, we saw the Phoenix. Oh, it was crazy.
Few things to note there. Speedery, great job saving his passive and just jumping off the edge, right? Doesn't want to burn that passive. Was able to keep it for the next fight. But also, every point on this map has a crazy Jeff space. And that is what is so wild about Vision having the access. And what won it the last time now is undefeatable rises from Nero, and the team pushes forward. But Zealous is going to match that. Spark Chief as well with the damage boost. Trying to get more Agamotto out. Vest throws the magic and pops the rest now. Strategists are just visiting the spawn room at a permanent vacation.
And Vez is the one dealing the damage, putting them in the microwave. Yes, even with that Eye of Agamotto, he only got the Mantis originally here, but that's more than enough. The follow-ups together with Spartef is going to be right there to follow up. And Cooper also has that ultimate energy as well to set up Energy into position, but they have to look behind them to make sure nobody's going to try to go for a cheeky play on that point.
Nice little viewer cam there as we saw the viewer's face stunned at Envy, not even getting anything rolling after now 2-0 down. This is not the team we are used to seeing adjust so well. Speedery now with that Kraken impact. They are just trying anything now. Window over to Hulk. Don't see him on Hulk nearly ever because Cal is on Namor. Window does get that opening pick though to Energy. Kraken impact ready. Good patience here from Speedery, looking for more.
Having to contest on the point, though. It's going to be the Legendary, the Sonic Seduction, trying to combat that. He keeps up the trance, though, bringing Energy together and wasting the time from that Legendary. Even better, but Speedery going out first without having that reset opportunity that Envy wants to lean into.
Which is why this game is just so important in the pick ban. They saved this Star-Lord, and look at what Energy can do. He's so young, but so deadly as they're all together. The boot camp buff. Cal now looking to get something from Namor. Vision does get the Monster Hulk, and it's a Monster Swallow there from Jeff. Trying to get him out. Look at, just throwing him completely out of this.
He dodged it. He dodged the beam. Window now has to make a climb up a mountain to get back to his team. The number advantage automatically going in favor for FlyQuest. Good push away, though, as the Eye of Agamotto comes out from Vez. That's going to be thanks to Month, and the invisible boundary comes up here together with Nero having that Cloak and Dagger Eternal Bond at the floor. They try to survive for as long as possible. You have to look out for the whale and find Spark Chief here, and now as overtime ticks away, the recontest for the Doctor Strange come out.
Speedery's over on the Vanguard. Strange to get the portal back and get the things rolling for them. Now Kalu's trying to get the seduction going, and there's the point. Getting tick, tick, tick up for Envy now, but they have to get rid of the symbiote, who is so pesky, so hard on that sustain now. As you see Spark Chief just being the nuisance. Energy looking for more. Kalu's just trying to keep his team in this. They've been here before, Vicky. FlyQuest looking dominant now as the kick comes out, and now Cal, it's a full mystery heroes. All the people changing what they have. Ticks left. This is it.
This Vision having to reposition, and with another legendary, Energy needs some help to get enabled here. Vision has the itch chef, and he's been able to find Cal from the backline. Even with this here, the survivability is scary. The Eye of Agamotto comes out. It found Vez, and now the follow-up as Vision tried to use the itch chef. He gets shut down by Speedery.
Speedery is the master of the air, and he's flying with Doctor Strange in the sky. Are you kidding me? That could not have been lost. That would have been it for Team NV. They put on clutch mode, as we saw every player playing roles they don't play. Heroes that I've never seen, from Window to Hulk. You have Cal on Psylocke. Wait, that's Speedery's character. What's happening? But they did it.
I love the swap ups at the very end there too. No Wolverine. Nope, it's going to be Psylocke instead. Speedery showing us a different look right now for these duelists, and they have two ultimates, rather three ultimates actually, going to this next fight. Reset potential from Hulk 2, as you get to try to see Nero having that potential to keep everyone alive with the Eternal Bond. Spark Chief is continuously a nuisance though, as he not only stays alive, he has the Feast of the Abyss to reset.
What an angle there now, as we have Speedery on what I thought would be Psylocke dominance, and now coming out as Kalush gets the seduction, rolling with the team as they follow Nero's path to red. The whale comes out, they get Vest down, but look at that quick recovery there from Cooper. Vest goes up, slams down, Spaceball special, hits the blessings of the deep from Cal.
But the invisible boundary keeps everybody in this fight from Envy, as Window once again still has World Breaker available to use. He activates it, gets a reset here, needs some help to follow up from Speedery, but they're trying to send back FlyQuest to build up some space while they're on the attack.
Speedery now on the hunt, on the prowl. It's going to be Window yelling out of monster form. Vest going to do the finishing job with energy, but they are climbing up the ramp. Only a minute left. They had no time, but they're making great use of it. There is the dance execution. Will he dance to success? No, he has to get out of there, and it's Vision yet again trying to get more for the team, as he finds nothing though from that ult.
Yeah, you have to be careful if you're looking at Speedery, too. The moment you hear it's Jeff, you have to back away at the end of that Psylocke ultimate. That could have been the counter ult that they needed, but with Energy having the legendary and clearing the front line, Cal is next to go down, as he was slowly approaching that whale, too, having to take care of the pesky Psylocke with the Mosquito Swatter. Energy is trying to look for him.
Yeah, I like the ult economy, though, for Envy and how this thing's going to play out. Look, nice pick there from Energy, good God. But if you look, you have 22 seconds left. Things are going to be going in favor for them, unless they can't even get together. My God, look at this show going on as he throws the teleporter back. Kalu's going to get the Neo Peasants, but behind him is the absolute peasant. That is Energy, and the peskiness of now Spark Chief looking for more. He goes out, Vicky. That's a huge opening.
Yeah, it is. Now they have the opportunity and the lack of delay here from FlyQuest to try to reset here with Cooper having that fatal bolt throws to keep them alive. All eyes on Zelos to get that Sia. Window is going to be able to get right back into the hold form here, while FlyQuest want to hold this defense. They're trying to peel away, but they can't give up too much space, with overtime ticking away to prevent Envy from getting into this next checkpoint. There goes the Sia. It gets deleted the moment you see it pop up. And now the invisible boundary, the survivability is in favor here for Envy, but the BRB brings them right back here looking at FlyQuest. Spark gets taken out, and Vision does have the itch Jeff. It may not be enough, though, if looking at Energy from the skies to put him that pressure, as he gets shut down in a shish kebab at the hands of Namor and Cal.
What an exclamation point there on a perfect .2 cap. They had every answer to the Spark Chief Fist of the Abyss, to the res back. They got rid of Vest not once, but twice, and just pure perfection. Vision did not use that. It's Jeff. Maybe they look to get that back, but either way, they're set up for success here. This is what we saw the last time these two teams played, but it was the hand on the other foot last time because of, it was FlyQuest that kind of had to crawl back here. Both teams making it right here to the third cap.
60 seconds left.
Less than a minute, though, on the clock right now. Cal, this is going to be his playground here with everybody funneled up together in this side of the bridge. He's got that whale ready to go. Nero having to be careful. Wants to be able to build into that eternal bond. That's going to be crucial for this push. As all eyes on Vision too. Has that lip over to the left side to catch everybody in the itch jet, but it's going to be the Phoenix reset first as the Squids are finding their mark.
Put on a show.
Yeah, Baby Shark looking for that edge of the stairs of fate now as Kalush does the seduction. Cooper keeping the team going and vibing now. Damage boost on. Great swaps there as pushing in. It's Vision looking for his vision of success now. He's going out. Whirlpool far away from everybody. And look at this position. He knows exactly who to isolate. He finds Kalush. It's huge as he's going to find now the edge and just go off with him. Goodbye, but stays on. Oh my goodness, what a trick.
Yeah, movement Vision's got to with the platform rising right on time. Gets back together with the rest of his team. Beast of the Abyss, reset opportunity, but the invisible boundary as Nero is the first to get taken out after he just used up that eternal bond. Energy in the sky, though, is going to clear up whatever is left of Envy. The Doctor Strange portal to recontest the body block low. He's trying to break through.
That Baby Shark doing work for this team now as Energy is pushing forward. Now gets the pick off. Just surviving. Envy coming out one by one, and they are going to have that be their final hold point when going up against FlyQuest on offense.
Things up.
At least they got the 2 points. Almost getting to that third point. I always feel like this map is so hard to finish off, honestly, Cozy.
Very.
But the body block with the Venom, we've seen it so many times whenever it comes to a recontest. They isolated Doctor Strange, which he was able to get through, but nobody else from Envy was able to go through that portal.
And nearly the same point where they made it last time these two teams fought. And so last time, FlyQuest always had overtime, always got to it, and eventually won the final reverse sweep here. But now they can win the final hit of the grand finals here, folks. Are you not entertained, guys? Is this going the way you expected? Certainly not on my eyes. But either way, we look at the stats, 22-3, Energy just feasting there as Peter Quill, 22-3, 11 final hits. Are you kidding me, Vic?
We gotta talk about it, right? The duelist matchup right now, I'm looking at Speedery and Energy. And Energy has constantly had the numbers up in the favor of FlyQuest. You combine that together with the strategist backline. Yes, we have the 24 and 26 from Nero and Monk, but then rotating through that here, Vision coming out with some clutch Jeff pools too. Even if he didn't find a lot of impact sometimes, it's still about having that AoE healing and then that one pick that we saw in the Emma Frost at the very end.
How did they get Jeff on this map? I can't believe it. I mean, it's coming super clutch. They haven't needed it as much as they did last time, but still getting rid of key players in key fights there now as they look for the aggression. Energy already going right into things. Nero at 35%. My God, the ult charge is firing.
Really quick to be able to get that eternal bond usually. You usually also see the Lokis get that ultimate quickly here, but with Envy being on the defense, Kalush dropping down, splitting up the positioning because they have to keep their eyes on Energy, who's looking to harass that backline.
Harassing he is now, just constantly putting that poke pressure and climbing the ult charge to do it, but that does allow Nero to continue to get up. Cow there with the triple, or with the resurrection. You love to see it as Nero close to it, window and all. I like this little corner that they're hugging into here. It does give them the space, though, to not only be pesky behind there, but let the rest of the team to push in. And look at the constant barraging of, name it, water, bullets. It's everything now. Nero putting out the path to success and Envy to follow.
He could get away with this because he was right next to that rocket res. As you can see right there on the bottom half of the screen with Zelos being on that rocket on attack, by the way. It's just to enable Energy to play a lot more aggressive. And with Envy having Cal on the Atom, they have to pinpoint where Cal's positioning is. That goes into Speedery being the bodyguard that they need. The Jet manages to get away surprisingly, and Window brings everybody together trying to block out the exit point with the Groot Wall.
Yeah, great job there. Looking for it. Ult rotation. The show starts, and so does the damage boost. Energy 2 with the perfect time. Legendary coming for what is going to be a tough offensive stop. Look at these sparks igniting. Good God. Are you kidding me? Speedery now throwing in the wombo combo with it. Energy making his way to it. Zelos up with it now. It's going to be Cow, who got swallowed by Vic. Oh! What a wall!
Oh my God, he's got his ally, but he can't even get away. He wanted to reposition to the safety of the choke by his team. But Vision gets taken out in the itch jet. But can we talk about the clutch wall there coming out from Window? You can't go anywhere, Vision.
That window just shutting the window completely there. I mean, that was the timing. Did you see the timing of that?
Frame one.
And obviously, Adam, he's an immortal god. No, it doesn't matter. He has no way to get out of that, right? He would just be flying right off the edge. But no, it is going to be Envy with what is a crazy defensive effort now. Energy still having that legendary. Vest can follow to answer. Not a lot outside the res, but Seduction can shut it down if they time it right now. Spinning to win, going right in there. Vic is Energy, who's been on the same spot this whole time.
And no Rocket, they made this swap up here with Vez being on the Magneto. You could just bubble energy instead. You slam down the meteor end, but with everybody hiding in that side room, nobody's going to get contested. Right now, the goal is for FlyQuest to dismantle this backline because they are staying alive. They know they want to keep that Adam Warlock alive from Cal, who has that Karmic Resurrection. Sonic Seduction coming out from the side of Kalush here, though, with energy, having that legendary on the Star-Lord. He tries to harass him once again. The bubble saves him, but they're forcing Envy back, but they're not able to get these picks.
A great job from Energy there, even though Peter Quill is a ladies' man. He was not seduced by Mother, and bam, goes the silence from Speedery, shutting down that. But that was a good way to avoid that ult, but not getting anything from it. Cal has had this res for what seems like an eternity, and to follow Speedery is just now farming this ult on absolute command here. Guys, 40 seconds left. Right now, Envy, I mean, they just love being backs against the wall, having enough support to come out swinging, because Vicky, they're doing a great job here on first point.
It's crazy because it's all protect the president, protect Cal right now, protect the Adam Warlock, and that's why they're playing so huddled together. FlyQuest know this win condition, and they have not been able to disrupt it. Last chance opportunity with less than 20 seconds to cap this first point. Spark tries to dive down here on the Venom. Cooper and Vision both have those strategies. Ultimate Zelos shortly following with the Eternal Bond. With less than 10 seconds on the clock, Envy have ultimate for themselves to answer with.
Yeah, look for Cal versus Vision here. That's certainly going to be what decides it. As what a huge imprisonment there. Throwing up against the wall. Kalush gets the finish and flush there on Zealous. But there it is. The screw is going to be swallowed by Vision. And he's going to be saved and protected by his own Luna. Off goes the edge. Goes Window, who protected the last one from himself. Now Energy able to get things rolling for the team. Swap to Gene. It's going to be Vest with the Meteor aim to respond. 1-2. Slam down. The Spaceball special. Is it a dunk? It is a miss and off the rim.
Right next to the Cal res here too, as it ends up, Window falls low. He gets frozen up here by Cooper, and then the follow-up as now FlyQuest are clearing the point. Very last minute, overtime ticking away, and it was Zelos having the Eternal Bond, despite Zelos being the first to fall in that last fight.
Are you not entertained? Both fights coming down to the wall. Either way, though, to the moment. But what I'll say is only 2 minutes left, right? So this is one of the points in the game, Vicky, that carry very well into this point, but not when Spark Chief is absolutely... Look at this aggression. Forget the breaks. They've ripped those right off.
Just reverse the name real quick, and you got Spark Chef because he's cooking in the kitchen right now as Spark Chief is leading the way, heading it for FlyQuest to force out these staggers more, just so that way he can build up even more space. But look at the answer back from Window. He wants to stall out the same exact way being on the Venom.
And not just tanking, right? That's leadership and doing exactly what the team is called for. Mid-fight calls. Typically go to the Venom now with the Kalush going out. Vest getting that neutral pick. Energy with the quick Phoenix down, but it's Cal with the laugh there, pushing up to the point quite easily. It's Window now trying to get back to this thing. Window now getting eliminated a couple of times in these last few fights between them. Nero's got the Eternal Bond. They can ride that as they're going up the hill here. Envy cannot let this thing slip from them. What was a great hold to point one.
And that portal at least forced Spark to hold back a little bit, too, to help heal for the supports. Cooper had gotten a very nice freeze onto Kalush originally, but look at the ult economy that we're working with. Now you have the Eternal Bond here from Envy to regain the sustain on the control, but the Phoenix block off the Magneto Meteor M. Are you kidding me?
That's 2 times now Cal has used Blessing in the Deep or the Phoenix, not even meaning to, but at least with that one, not meaning to, and getting it done. Vision throws Cal right off the map. The res with it now as they're pushing closer and closer. Still pretty far. Envy has that cap of point. Vision getting a little bit of a poke damage, but look at Envy. Losing some, but not everything, and 42 seconds left.
It's a good stall, though, because Cal will still be able to come back with that resurrection. Spark is going to be able to now move up with the Feast of the Abyss here too, but Speedery goes uncontested in the backline being on this Phoenix. Here comes Cal with that Karmic Revival now, and as they move up, Cal gets away with getting both Vanguards back up in this fight, but it doesn't stop FlyQuest from still being able to find more picks, but it all is for naught as they come back.
Yeah, great job from Cal. I would want Envy to rotate back a bit to make it easier, but either way, he was able to get everyone back into this thing, but the point is still pushing. That's what matters now, as Kalush is doing what he can to hold the contest, but no, everyone in one room, and what does that do? It ignites Phoenix, getting explosion after explosion. Both Phoenixes up in the air. This is Marvel at its best. Infinity War happening on our screens, igniting what is an insane grand finale. Kalush gets to close on Cooper, and now we've got the Agamotto to follow. It's the pop, the finish window getting it done. Can Envy hold, Vicky?
The Michael Bay special, Phoenix on Phoenix action, isolating more of these picks, and they do it. No Doctor Strange portal in time as Envy. They hold back FlyQuest.
And you thought it was going to be a 3-0, and I don't know who I'm talking to. What did? Because my goodness, that was absolute perfect play in showcasing why these teams belong to be where they are. And Envy being here before. What a great push from Fly. But ultimately, Speedery and the gang get it done. And that is what I wanted to see. Speedery on what he does best. But the whole team clicked there, Vicky, from start to finish.
Man, that Magneto clip, though, real quick with that Phoenix ultimate. Talk about timing. 13 final hits in favor for Speedery right there. He heard us talking about him. 36,000 damage output done here. And even with some playmaking opportunities we saw from FlyQuest, they had a really difficult time, even with their game plan to try to dismantle the backline of Envy while they were on the defense with the Adam Warlock. It was too much protection, too many layers to the onion that they would have to get through. And it bought a lot of time for Envy on that defense originally.
One of my favorite points of China is when somebody yelled over to the other team of Envy saying Speedery's a one trick, and then they dominated and Cal got right back up. Cal stood up and yelled back, yeah, I bet he's a one trick. And that is what you see this team. They just thrive off this aggression. And that is what we expect to see from Envy, one of the top teams here. Now, if you're FlyQuest, funny, you know, you have the catalyst of what this map is, which, my God, this map is always cinema between the two teams, but this was the map that had the reverse sweep for them last time. Could this be the map that Envy uses to propel themselves to get the reverse sweep? We'll have to find out as we look at Speedery, our MVP.
MVP coming through here, and I just want to highlight too, Nero really stepping things up. We talked about Nero being on that cloak, and I said it before. I was like, you know, Nero's a really fire cloak and dagger. Don't think we have been able to see that come out within the previous two maps when they had lost. You take out Nero being on that cloak, Cal being on the Adam Warlock, they lean into the win condition, but that also highlights why we saw FlyQuest ban out that Adam Warlock before.
Yeah, and two things to talk about. First of all, it's been a couple days since these teams last fought, and you can tell they've really cleaned up their anti-Jeff protocol. You know, from that Groot wall that Window put up to stop the spit out of Cal was so insanely well timed. I mean, that is just comms at its finest. But yeah, also, I think the ultimate usage was just leagues better this time around, Vicky. I mean, being able to really stagger them into success. I mean, that is why that first point matters so much, because point two, you need every bit of those 2-3 minutes to make it up the hill. Wasn't enough.
Yeah, and this also means that map number 4, we'll be going on to domination, so that's something to consider, as it's going to allow FlyQuest to pick where we're going to be moving on to next.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Adam and Jeff there together, but either way, guys, don't go anywhere. It is now 2-1, FlyQuest leading. We're going to take a quick break. going on, guys, and welcome back to the epic matchup between NA's pretty much top two teams here, NV FlyQuest, as we find ourselves on next map, Vicky, and it is Hell's Heaven. And this is a map that we've seen both teams do very well in, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a map that both teams are 1-0 on, so that's something to consider, as this is going to be FlyQuest taking Envy here, and we talked about it before, but it's going to be a domination map since, of course, we're going on to game number 4 here.
Domination has gone 2-0 one way, 2-0 the other. When these two teams clash, and looking at it, I mean, the pick ban phase, I think, it can be taken out of it a little bit with these two in terms of talent, but for me, what stands out, it's energy, man. I mean, this man has constantly been the difference maker in terms of his accuracy, his damage, and what he's been able to pump out for the team. I don't know if Star-Lord will make it out on this one. The big difference, though, is obviously Emma is probably going to be available, and we know what Kalush can do there.
Yeah, but also let's not forget, Envy's perfect win record on domination was just ruined in game number 1 by FlyQuest. So Envy having a really good track record on domination, FlyQuest need to replicate this because this set them up for 3-1 now on domination after winning that first map. Moving on, now Envy usually have the advantage when we go into a game 4 territory, so they could tie things up depending on how this pick and ban phase goes out.
This is so fun, Vic. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted to see going to the grand finals. Anytime we get ourselves up to the maximum, game 5 in this case, I mean, that's what you live for here, and that's what these teams are playing for. One team looking to do and repeat their history of making it to land, and the other one, Georgia, is right there. It's calling, it's ready, and they're looking for their back-to-back top seed there for FlyQuest now, as we are going to be heading into our next match of domination here in a moment.
Thinking here, we're going to see the Adam pass through because there was a lot of focus onto Cal, as Cal was getting protected by everyone else. Also wondering, you know, the track record on these Meteor M's that could have come in clutch, looking on the side of FlyQuest for a lot of those previous fights that we had in our last map.
Yeah, two great callouts. Number one, I feel like the Atom, it helped. It wasn't like the thing that pushed Envy over the map there, in my opinion, but definitely will in domination. But on the inverse of that, you're correct. Vest has been our best Magneto in this tournament, but the connections haven't all the way been there. Now, can you help a Blessings of the Deep out of nowhere or a Phoenix coming from the sky? I mean, it's like out of something divine stopping it at this point. But if he can land those, that's going to obviously lead the team to success. I'm
excited to see what this pick and ban phase is looking like, because of course we have two of the best teams right now in the Americas region facing off in this Group A bracket, and we are moving on to a game number 4. I'm still expecting this to go the distance. Obviously, I said it already before, Cozy, but it all comes down to this. Vez, all eyes on Vez to see how he could get that impact. Same thing with Energy. If Energy could keep up versus Speedery, as they were both on the Phoenix prior to this, as we get set up here. And Vision too, having the impact being on the Jeff, if we're going to even see the Jeff.
Yeah. All right, folks, here we go. Game number 4 between these two. Match number 4. It's 2-1 in terms of FlyQuest versus Envy. We head to the big band phase. It's domination. Once again, we're going to see a little bit of a different look between these two teams as we get a bit of an Angela showcase over there. Love to see it. These guys just grind rank. The Lord skins are just raining from them here. But we've got the Atom ban right off the gate. I like that decision there from Envy.
Take away that opportunity from FlyQuest so that way they don't utilize that for themselves, as we may see that coming out from the other side. But FlyQuest actually prioritized a ban onto the Jeff instead, something that Envy can't really lean into here, even though they had the opportunity to do it in the previous game, not being able to do it this time around. We get to see now the next protection going over onto the Mantis, so this probably is going to force out also a ban on an Ultron is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, looking at it here, you've got the Mantis save. There it is. Once again, the Jet Protect, although the team did fine there last time. Hell's Heaven, though, Vic, is yet another... I mean, out of the 2 maps that I want, Jeff, Central Park, and this one is way up there, in my opinion, on what you can do and get out of the use of its Jeff or the Baby Land Shark. Next ban going up certainly was going to be Jeff. They now swap over to going to be a Mantis ban, and the ban on their side, who do they allow in here, and who do they think they need to shut down more so for the team when it comes to FlyQuest? I have a feeling what Envy's going to do. I want to see what Fly and the route they take.
They're not going to ban it, obviously, because I don't think it's going to happen. But remember the Rad page book right here. The Rad script of having Angela on Hell's Heaven comes in clutch. Something that we saw Guru do consistently on getting those environmentals and disrupting the piece. I'm wondering if maybe FlyQuest could roll out with it. I've been hearing more teams have been practicing with Vanguards that you may not expect rollout on Domination as we see the next set of bans. Invisible Man, no Star-Lord for Envy. Instead, FlyQuest are going to prioritize that for themselves.
Yeah, funny enough, we're seeing the same pick bans that led to the Envy win, right? So they're probably comfortable with what they've got rolling right now. Obviously, the Adam ban is different for Domination versus what is sometimes Emma. The last ban for Envy is a big one, and they're gonna go with Ultron. More of that strategist route once again, forcing the comp that they want to there.
Now on this final ban, though, looking at FlyQuest, I'm wondering if they're... okay, I was going to say, if they were the ones banning out the Ultron, but considering that Envy get that back-to-back, it comes in clutch. They protect the Ultron for themselves, so they're going to be the ones to have that damage boost together with that Ultron that I was expecting.
Absolutely. Now with the Ultron Sage, it's the last ban to go for FlyQuest. Looking at their options, plenty of it here, and it's going to be Captain America once again. That is what helped sustain the turnaround and the flip of the point, Vicky. Having Spark Chief on cap and them not having the same answer, it made Window struggle, and that is going to be a key thing to look out for. How does Window perform here on Domination versus the first time?
Because in the first set of bans that we saw on Domination for game number 1, Envy also had this ban against them with the Captain America, whereas on the other side, FlyQuest had taken advantage of having that Captain America. If they do decide to roll out with it, it looks like they just want to start things off having the portal to put them into position first, as Zelos teases the Angela a little bit here. FlyQuest still at match point, but Envy could equalize this just as easily with their track record on Domination as we get set up for Hell's Heaven.
Hell's Heaven's the stage, Grand Finals the scene as we look across the map as the teams set what they have. And looking towards it, I mean, obviously having that Adam Warlock ban is really going to give a bit of an edge to how I think Envy played. And we both said it. I think we're both thinking Envy could get it to yet another game here, Vicky. Am I right?
I believe so. That's what I was saying. Like, the fact that their track record is looking fantastic, despite what we just saw from game number 1, it all comes down to this, everybody. Let's get this going. Is FlyQuest going to take this home right here, right now, or are we going to see a game 5 opportunity in favor for Envy as we see both of these teams rolling out, and there's that Doctor Strange portal.
It's Sunday Night Rivals here now. Looking at it, Window going to be taking the fight right to them, or at least behind them here, as the teams are rotating in what is a comical approach to this part of the map. Cal now looking for those quick picks. Look for that matchup. We've been highlighting Cal v Energy. They know the job form, and it's Speedery to help out Cal and get that elimination now, followed by Window. Once again, it's going to be frozen as he attacks the back line of the strategist.
You let him have that Mantis damage boost. You let him take to the skies here. Window easily could follow up as well, as you get the choke slam being on the Emma Frost, as Emma was not banned for either teams. Cooper getting a beautiful follow-up on shutting down Window.
Both these teams have the Vanguards, the anchors that it takes to win championships. Now as Speedery's up in the air, flying back and pushing back. Now, as last time it took us, folks, 9 minutes to get the first point won, and it's going to be FlyQuest ticking this thing up. If you're Envy, you got to step on it. They have 1 on the point, but they're not going to have 1 long now as Speedery opening up. Execution out.
It still couldn't flip it here, though. The stalling that is coming out as Speedery forced FlyQuest back, with Spark being the first one to go out here. The sustain comes out right afterwards. Fate of both worlds, out of seduction, a nice little delay with the reset as the Fetus comes dropping down to wait out the end part of that Fate of both worlds.
Phoenix saying you are nothing, something that would come straight out of Cal's mouth. Love to hear it now as Vision's going the distance of the baby shark. He gets 2 once again. It's Jane, it's Emma, it's huge, as now Speedery's trying to do all he can do. It's not enough. Goodbye, off into the lava.
Oh man, put that down. Oh, sacrifice well necessary to allow FlyQuest to take control over this point first.
My goodness, Vision. I mean, again, this was one of the maps I said it's just such a good Jeff map that you can't stop him. He's got the plot armor, the teeth to do it now. Vest and team 12% up and climbing. We're gonna have Envy reset. Window does got the feast to open things up. Monk can get the sustain, but everyone else gonna be stuck in the neutral for a while with Energy, and the legendary gonna certainly be used and force Monk's boundary.
Look who's creeping around here, as Sparchico's gonna be able to drop all the way down here. The Feast of the Abyss, as right through the other side of the invisible boundary, Nero gets called out by the legendary that you pointed out here, Cozy. Spark could also go in for the reset, but with Nero going down, and so is Window. Envy down in numbers here, with really up to Speedery to start off this entry frag with the extermination.
It's a brutal exchange if you're Envy because you had what you needed to survive it, but it's not enough to stop the legend that is Energy so far in this Ignite tournament. Getting 2 out there and using Month's ult to boot Cal with the 1-2 click of the Ignite. Great job on the Sparks trying to get more pressure for the team and give himself some room to push. Not a Vanguard, but Gene can do it too.
The fact that Envy have recognized too, the Mantis is not worth it if Nero's not popping off. You don't want that damage boost if you can't pop off here. As Speedery pops off from the skies, gets that double. Strategist in shambles here from FlyQuest, really only leaving Zelos to boost up into that Eternal Bond, but Envy have not been able to flip this point yet.
Us Against the World comes out. Vest with the seduction, following the path to success, trying to get more. Cooper also has the show to go. Zelos, though, gets the pick on Cal. I mean, my goodness, FlyQuest locked in here. Kalu's trying to get people locked on his vision, but no, it's going to be the opposite. Kalu's now just trying to stay alive, is going to get into diamond form, not crack under pressure, but it's not enough. He's out of there.
Get down, Mr. President. Cooper dances it off to save his buddy Zelos here as FlyQuest near 99% and Envy are getting shoved back closer to their spawn.
Envy's getting envied right now. I mean, this is what they do to other teams. 100%. No 9-minute battle here, folks, as FlyQuest confidently get first point.
That was dominating literally here from FlyQuest. The way that they play that, even with Speedery getting those opening picks, but you can't just find just 2 of those strategists. The fact that they had the cloak Eternal Bond has really helped them out. And remember, Envy being able to protect that Mantis, they use that protect on that other strategist, have not been able to have the same impact even with the damage boost if you're not staying alive and you're not keeping your team up long enough, compared to the opposite end having to deal with a Luna Snow and a Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, and not to mention Zelos having 60 limbs here with Cal, no final hits. That's absolutely brutal. I mean, brutal right there. The damage, the picks are not happening. Kaluj as well, 1 and 2. I mean, this is not what you want from this team, and it's mainly they just can't get together. They can't get this thing rolling at all. No momentum on their side, but that is where they're comfortable as we head into the second part of this map. And Vicky, this one is even more scary than the first when it comes to Satan's greatest soldier, Jeff.
He's happy with that. Just look at his face. Cute but deadly, I always say, and he's going to have a ball game. This is going to be the Jeff playground here, as Spark is already looking to be a menace. They can get the follow-up dive potential together with energy, activating the legendary. You want to force out one of these strategist ultimates, and it works out as Nero's going to call in the Eternal Bond to start off the engagement to keep Envy in this fight.
Yeah, this time at least everybody's staying alive through it. They lost people on the rotation last time and already getting some of the points. A good way to get the pressure moving in terms of rotation. It's going to be now Venom coming out from Spark Chief in the Abyss there. Nothing from it. Vesto does get the pick on Speedery. There goes a big one, and Window gets Zelos out of this thing. So at this point now, Envy looking okay. It's going to be the boundary back. Window going to go to safety of the boundary. The Roman Coliseum is around the point, keeping the team Envy alive.
And the fact that Vision was able to get that one isolated pick once again from the It's Jeff onto Kaluj. Kaluj, tired of this shark, wants to spear him then if he has the opportunity to. But we have to look with Vez close to that Sonic Seduction to try to protect this backline here. Stop down what Cal is looking forward to, and Speedery in the sky.
Good job, though. Both teams just eyes on the prize, not letting either cap it here as they dive in, try to get more. Cal now getting Spark Chief out of his way with the seduction happening. Vest once more. Energy gets Window out of this. And Vicky, right now, it's looking like FlyQuest. Okay, Cal with the quick response to Energy. It's the top doing it as they go against Vest now, pushing out, kicking out. Look at FlyQuest. They got the cap.
Looking like a fighting game out here, too, with the way that Vez is kicking the freeze onto Kaluj. The fact here that FlyQuest finally get the cap after I don't know how many minutes that these fights have been going on. A third round of ultimate rotations as Speedery unleashes the Ultron Rage as Vez shuts him down in the middle of it. Cooper sets everybody from FlyQuest up into position in the driver's seat as Zelos has the Eternal Bond at the end of Cooper's ultimate of the Fate of Both Worlds.
The diamond form that Emma has, Vest just turning that pressure into perfection. Just a classic Frost move now. Cal with quick aggression, but it is once again Kaluj with the cutest massacre you've ever seen now. Spit off the edge. I mean, look at that shirt, folks. He's having a great time. Kaluj, not so much, finding himself in the lava again and reflecting in the spawn room. My God.
Kaluj falling to his knees right now with another It's Jeff. This is like the third one in the series. I'm not counting what we saw, I believe, in the first game. And it is just a menace right here in turning this fight.
Anyone know anyone on Etsy that can make a Jeff punching bag? I know, man, he's trying and will be using it after this. Window, Cal, ready to go for the combo if needed, looking towards FlyQuest. They're pretty far away from anything, so at least gonna have to win this in the neutral. If you're Envy, you gotta be ult tracking, pushing forward.
Spark's gonna get stunned just temporarily while Energy wants to focus down on Cal, who gets the reset with the Phoenix ult to try to reposition as well before backing up to the rest of their team. Cal gets fully healed up. Energy is trying to isolate Speedery, who will have that Ultron Rage. Sonic Seduction, though, doesn't get anything as Vez now catches Kaluj.
It pushes half the team away, but there's one important one behind him. It's the mirror match of Vest versus him now. Cal with another big pick. Cal getting these picks to at least give his team a shot here, but it's 83% and climbing. Envy's chances for the top seed is slipping tick by tick, 10% away for FlyQuest to be back-to-back first seed champs here in the seeding stage. Portal opens. Ready to go. Kalu's jumping through the magic as Vision just continuing that heal and damage aggression.
Good placement, too, on the portal, trying to block out the line of sight of the strategist in the back line here as Nero has the Eternal Bond. It's going to be met with Cooper and the fate of both worlds, keeping FlyQuest alive here. They look great in the ult economy. Overtime taken away in favor for FlyQuest as this is the game-winning opportunity for FlyQuest to take the series. But with the Meteor M missing its mark, it's Jeff comes in from Vision. Everybody at risk as the Phoenix just waits it out as long as possible.
Throwing it down, finding Jeff there, and with the quick hit, does not get the pick. Cooper gets mugged, though, and just like that, Cal will be the only one that gets something for it as Vest and team watches last and laughs as they get themselves yet another grand final win, Vicky.
No Doctor Strange portal. They used it up right before. FlyQuest knew what they had to do to win the series and to win the grand finals, putting themselves in the first seed as we make our way through playoffs.
The skies are clear and the stage is now set. We now see Team FlyQuest go against Nemesis in the main stage, and it'll be Envy going against Sentinels. One of those teams being pushed down to the lower bracket is crazy work considering what we saw back in June as we look at the stats in the story. And it is a 19-0 Vest picking up right where he left off, Vic.
Oh my, 19 and the survivability. Oh my goodness. Would love to look at that just a little bit longer to break down the stats here, but that was an insane performance from FlyQuest. Once again, we talk about the win condition that we've seen from the track history of Envy on Domination, and FlyQuest has not only ruined that back-to-back, but they take the most important series that they needed to take with their run back out here too, making sure that Envy gets shut down without any opportunity to get the revenge.
We've been saying it all tournament long. This team does not have a weak point. They have not only that, the boot camp buff to follow, but the duelists, two of the best right there now in North America. The strategist has no weekends, their ult calls, their comms, perfection, and it's led by the fortresses, the big boys, the often forgotten tanks and vanguards. That is Vest and Spark Chief, as I'm sure that room is erupting in glory.
I just know Kaluj on leg day too. You talk about a punching bag. If anything, maybe for leg day, he's going to just imagine Jeff and just practice as much as possible the next time he has to face off against a Jeff in his face, because that was as constant as Jeff's swallowing him up as we take a look at our MVP, Vest, not going down a single time on Domination as Emma Frost.
Dude, 19-0, 20K. Vest, come on now. This is absolutely just disrespectful here. Insane stats. As we once again congratulate FlyQuest for not only doing this once, but twice now in the biggest stage, the biggest scene. And now they know exactly what's up next, as we'll talk to them in our interview. But yeah, great point there on the Jeff. I'm going to go and give him this right here up in my back shot. Just give him to rip apart and kind of get some of that anger out. But the good news is, both these teams, this is for the seeding. Both teams they have to face are great teams. And Envy, they won where it counted last time, so they know what they're up against here when we go into the main stage next week. But either way, if you're FlyQuest, this is looking like a completely different team, even than the one that won last time there, Vicky, because there was just no dropping games. There was no kind of, big lower bracket fate win. No, they just did it here confidently.
Yeah, if anything, they just have a lot to look at looking at that Central Park map, because even then, they were playing amazingly, right? It was a lot of focus when we had Envy, rather, on the defense, making sure that their backline was protected. But that specific first point before we saw that payload moving was what wasted so much time away from FlyQuest. And then even moving forward, right? Even trying to build up space that we saw coming out from Spark and just trying to be able to have that Venom dive in, isolate that one pick before we saw some swap-ups coming in. So much to look at. FlyQuest are just on another level here in America.
Let's take a look at the bracket and what this meant to where we are now in the story of what has been this birth of rivals as we see FlyQuest and how they got here. They had an insane bracket to go through, guys. This was not an easy one. Taking down a great team there at the beginning, but going into Envy, then winning against Rad 2-0, and then finishing up against Envy yet again. It's clear as day that they had a tough schedule, but answered the call.
Yeah, and that's with FlyQuest not even dropping it, minus really those two maps against Envy. You have to imagine they had a perfect record just aside from those two maps, which is impressive looking at the talent that we've had aside from the roster adjustments and then the repositioning opportunities with the way that they've had to be flexible with the meta. It's so much to break down here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and if you're Envy, you know, you can at least realize that the only thing that you lost to was going to be FlyQuest moving forward here. But we welcome in our interview. It's not probably going to be just one. It's everybody as they're together celebrating here. And we've got Spark Chief now. Yeah, listen, your mom's not coming into the room this time. Instead, you got the boys. How you feeling?
Good. Pretty good. Pretty happy. It's a good day.
You got to tell me a little bit now. I just know, right, it's calm, cool, collected, but were you guys hyped up? Were we celebrating? Were we pumped?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was happy after we won. Like, we didn't think it would be that easy, but it just was. So, like, everyone's just happy about it, right? No reason not to be.
Can I ask, because you were part of this team that got the top seed last time. Like, this is familiar territory for you guys, right? But I've said this team looks different than that team that even won it. It wasn't this kind of like, oh, you came back from the lowers. Dude, you guys dominated throughout this thing. What's the difference from that team to this?
Well, I don't want to be mean to anybody, but like the changes that we made really just like made a difference. Like when you go to good to great, like you just kind of tell by the results, right? Like there are some things that were really, really bad, and now those things are really good. So there's no reason we should be any worse than we were before.
I mean,
Awesome.
you guys are, yeah, not only do you guys look even better than ever, literally the best one we've ever seen a team in America, you guys are now presented to be playing off against Team Nemesis, and they were in Group Stage B in that bracket. I'm assuming here that you guys are just looking at another day at work. How are you feeling about having to fight Team Nemesis first in the playoffs?
I mean, personally, I'm not even like thinking about them. I'm just looking to play MB again, but I mean, they're my friends, right? So like, it's cool and all, but like, it's business. At the end of the day, it's business. So I'm sorry.
George is calling, buddy. Georgia is calling. Tell me, man, I mean, there's so many things to highlight about this team, but like, what do you think separates you, not just team-wise, but from the rest of this bracket? I mean, you guys, I feel like y'all don't have a weak point. I want to give you the floor to shout out who you want to here because, I mean, strategist to duelist to what they're doing there in the Vanguard position, you guys are loaded.
I mean, we just don't have like anyone that's like a one trick, right? Like every team has like their little one trick, like, or they're unable to play certain characters. Like they're just really bad in a certain hero, and you can just ban like their best heroes out, and then they're just really, really bad compared to their other picks. But I think that's what makes us like sort of the greater team in North America, because we don't have anyone like that in the roster, at least that has been exploited yet. So it's that, and then I mean, Legitimacy has done like a great job of like making sure we're not being stupid while we play and not choking and making stupid mistakes. So it's good.
Hey, look, I want to give a shout out to the guys behind you who have not moved the muscles. These guys could be just pop-up statues. I mean, they are doing an incredible job there showcasing how well you guys held the line there in your match. Buddy, congratulations. So cool that you guys are all together. But I know for this team specifically, job is far from finished. I want to meet you guys. I want to see you guys in person. And you guys know now the path ahead of you. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, once again, that is going to be our grand final champions for Group A, the group of death, arguably the hardest one to get through in Spark Chief and the rest of FlyQuest and the two guys behind him there.